77% of you are unsubscribed. Please hit the subscribe link below. This video is called Stop Selling the Drama, Start Spreading the Love. The Holy Spirit brought to me 4 different videos that I watched, and in 3 cases the videos were selling the drama. In the 4th case, the person was actually bringing up a proper issue and bringing it through the proper process. So the first one was the kid who got kicked out of the Catholic school for his belief on gender. That one was selling the drama. He had prior times in public school created the drama over masks, created the drama over online learning, created protests, created a big stir, actually got suspended 3 times. So his parents actually moved him to a Catholic school. When he went to the Catholic school, the girls, knowing his prior stuff, was like, this is what's happening at our school with gender, got him all riled up. He then, went with it. Created the drama, created the protests, pushed inside the school like that. When they tried to say, hey, you know what, calm down, he got to the point where he got suspended. When he got suspended, instead of his parents going through the board process, which you normally do, I've done that before with my kids. Actually went through the board process when there's been problems at school with my kids. Took it up to the next level. Instead of doing that, they had him go to school and break the rule. He wasn't allowed to go to those specific classes, so as soon as his suspension was up, he purposely went to the classes that he was banned from going to, so that then they would then charge him with trespassing. Selling the drama. So that is selling the drama. That is, doing it just to be hurtful, just to be creating all of this stir. Poor me, I'm getting persecuted for being a Christian, but not actually doing something to actually make the change in the system. Okay. Second example, the guy who goes into a church and says, hey, I know that this church doesn't believe what I believe. I can see from the statement of beliefs on their website that they don't believe what I believe. So I'm going to go into that church and I'm going to say, hey, this is what I believe. What do you believe? Oh, you believe this? Well, this is why all of your stuff is wrong. This is why you shouldn't do this. And created a stir and then said, you know what? You're kicking me out. You're not showing me Christian love. It's like, well, you know what their beliefs are. You're going in there and you're purposely creating the drama. And then you're wondering why you're kicked out. Okay. The third example of selling the drama. There's 2 guys, the father and the son, that go to Asbury because they're wanting to check it out, but they're not preaching. They're not going there to preach. They're not going there to, push their own views. But they show up with a shirt that says Romans 1, homosexuality is a sin. Knowing full well that the whole verse in Roman calls out multiple sins, knowing that there are people there that are celibate LGBTQ that are there. They're not practicing LGBTQ. They're celibate. They know that it's a sin, right? But wearing that kind of a shirt to a to a revival and then saying you're not going there to preach, but nobody else is wearing those types of shirts. And in the video that they then posted afterwards, in order to get their clickbait and in order to get, their increased followers, they weren't wearing that shirt. They wouldn't dare wear that shirt on YouTube because they would lose money for monetization, or they'd lose followers, or, their video could be banned. So they're not going to take the risk on where their money is, but they want to go into a place where God is working, and they want to create the drama. They want to stir up that drama so that they end up being kicked out. On the way out of when they were being kicked out, they made sure that they were pointing out their shirt, that they were saying, we're getting kicked out because we're talking about this. It's like, and then to say, you're not going there to preach stuff. You're there to go and worship. So, if you're wearing those I guess the question is, would you wear that shirt to a gay pride rally? Probably not, because you'd probably get your ass kicked. Would you wear it to church on a regular basis? Probably not. You may, but you're putting up a barrier and a wall to talking to people, right? Or would you wear it on your YouTube channel? Well, they didn't. They didn't wear it on their YouTube channel. They got Jesus, and they used, Jesus is going to return with fire and whatever, right? Those two shirts that they wore on their YouTube channel, fine. Wear that to the revival, they wouldn't get kicked out. I challenge those people to wear the same shirt on their YouTube channel. Wear the same shirt on their YouTube channel that they were wearing at Asbury. Then say, you're not selling the drama. Okay. So those are three that are doing it like they're just basically selling the drama. They're not actually trying to convert souls. They're not actually trying to spread the gospel. They're not actually trying to, show that we're loving like Jesus said. Jesus said that he would know, that people would know who we are by the love we have for each other. I'm seeing a lot of hate, and I'm seeing a lot of drama, and I'm seeing a lot of those types of things. I'm seeing very little love, and, that's concerning. Okay, so now I'm going to give you an example of someone who is against a sin, against something that's happening, and is actually going down the proper channels. So there was that kid that found a book in his library that was a little bit pornographic, right? I mean, the book was meant in a certain light in order to try and promote LGBTQ community, but it was a bit pornographic, and so books have been kicked out of libraries because of that for a lot of reasons. Even classic books have been like banned from the library, and Christians have been like, hey, why are you banning this book? And Roald Dahl, the Christians were all about, like, why are you taking these things out of Roald Dahl's writing? Because it should be there for whatever reasons, right? And but in this case, it was pornographic, and it was pointed out. Now, how did he point it out? Well, he went to the principal, and he talked to the principal. The principal wouldn't deal with it. So he then had his son read the passage to the board. When he had his son read the passage to the board, and then he talked to the board, and they filmed that, and they put it on YouTube, fine. That's good. That is the proper process. If the board doesn't deal with it, then you bring it up to the next level. If it's not dealt with at that level, then you bring it up to the Minister of Education. That's how you deal with the process. But, if his response had been to stomp into the library and tear up all the books that were in the library, that would be selling the drama. But they didn't do that. They did it the right way. So the important thing is, yes, you can complain about sin. Yes, you can confront someone about sin. Yes, you can point out a sin on social media in a tweet. But when you're doing that, are you doing that out of love? Are you like, see, this is something that is wrong. Really, we should be doing this. And you're saying it out of a loving way and a correcting way. Or are you pointing the finger? Are you being, you're doing this, you shouldn't do this, you're da-da-da-da-da. Are you doing it out of love, or are you doing it out of selling the drama? And I think a lot of what's happening with Christians right now, and unfortunately, some major Christian content providers are falling into this, and they're falling into that trap. I mean, some of them that I really like some of their other content that they're doing, but unfortunately, I have to comment on them and say, excuse me, that's not right, right? Your content is good. The thing you're trying to point out is good, but you're pointing it out in a dramatic way that is a little bit hateful. You're not pointing out in a loving way, saying, hey, here's some correction that needs to happen. And that's the problem. So do better. Don't create the drama. Don't sell the drama. Do, point out sin in a loving way.